Hey Half-Bloods, thanks for being here. William and I have loved filming this podcast. Our first 4 episodes were very raw, we didn't have a firm game plan, and we just had a lot of fun talking about Harry Potter. This podcast was recorded several weeks ago. At the time of recording, we did not have a firm plan on the launch of Ultimate Harry Potter Trivia. At times during the podcast, I may say the games are available and ready to buy. That is a lie. The games will be ready on September 30th. Consider this episode a trial run. So I promise if you stick around, it'll only get better from here. Welcome, Half-Bloods, to another week of the Half-Blood Pod with Scott, William, and Cassie back again.
Why am I here? Is this like a normal thing?
William, we can't just do, Mount Rushmores or Triwizard Champions every single week, but every time we do, Cassie will be here.
Fair enough.
We could do it every single week, and I'm in to do it every single week, but...
We could replace her with AI at some point, right?
We talked about this last pod. AI has not scraped my data yet. Also, we need to do like an introduction of what the Half-Blood Pod is. Welcome to the Half-Blood Pod, where we'll talk all things Harry Potter and eventually be your guides through the HBO show. But until then, we'll just keep wasting time talking about whatever we want, loosely basing it, tying it to the show, and we'll do that for 50 some odd weeks, and then hopefully we'll have more show content and have live content to react to.
Are you going to dress our hats?
Also, this week we went to a shout out Charlotte's Knights game where the first thousand fans got free hats, and we were very excited. We got there very early, and I think we didn't have to get there that early because Hufflepuffs are not that popular. They were shocked. We're like, one Hufflepuff, another Hufflepuff. Okay, just make it 4 Hufflepuffs. They're like, really? A whole family of Hufflepuffs? And I flipped them the bird and we walked away. And
no, everyone was like, thought it was cool. And they're like, oh, your whole family is the same house?
It's true. Again, shout out. They do a great job. The baseball is very boring, so they do a very good job of trying to make everything else fun. They gave out wands. They gave out potions. They gave out the hats.
That's legit. They know what they're doing. The Savannah Bananas have nothing.
I bet they would have stayed longer for Savannah Bananas game, but we only lasted to the 3rd inning. Our girls were...
It was an hour rain delay. They did amazing.
When I take my kids to Spurs games, which I guess is a step up from Charlotte minor league baseball.
Agreed.
But I have to like drag them out early. I'm like always like, please don't go to overtime. Please don't go to overtime. But
well, to be fair, we saw like one hit.
I mean,
baseball is infinitely less exciting than basketball in the 8th row.
Our oldest was like, when are they gonna like hit the ball? I have the same question.
This is a pitching duel.
This is building character. Baseball is a game of failure.
Exactly.
This is not
great
Quidditch.
Hitters are 1 for 3. Just remember.
Yeah.
Failing in every other aspect. So anyways, I'm going to turn this hat back around now because I don't think I look very good in a forwards-facing hat, but we all got Hufflepuff hats and it was pretty exciting. So
I'm just going to take mine off.
Yeah, good call. So anyways, this podcast, all things Harry Potter. William and I just make up whatever we want to talk about. We've been doing drafts right now, but we'll have some deep dives. We're going to have amazing stuff, so stick around. And today, we are focusing on what are the funniest moments from the books that we want to see in the HBO show. Again, a loose tie-in to the HBO show, but mostly we just wanted to talk about the funniest moments in Harry Potter history.
Heck yeah. Which has been very fun to go through and talk over.
We started with like, what are the funniest moments in Harry Potter history? And just starting there. And to me, I just got overwhelmed. And then I called William and said, I don't think I can do this. And can we please shorten the scope a little bit? And William also suggested we got to focus on season 1 as well. So 2 of our 4 Triwizard Champions will have to be from book 1. This podcast is brought to you by the much-needed, book-only, ultimate, unofficial Harry Potter trivia game, which was created by me for William's brain. And it's a wonderful game for all Harry Potter fans with different levels of trivia. Level 7 being the hardest. Cassie is going to pull a level 7 card. And I'm going to go first because William went first last time. And whoever is the last person to give a correct answer gets to go first.
You might still be bitter about that.
Well, I re-listened to it this morning, and I was pretty pissed. So,
yeah,
I didn't cheat, but I did mispronounce Kokoroff, so I probably don't deserve any points.
All right, a level 7 trivia question to decide who goes first. It is name 10 figures found on chocolate frog cards.
This is a very difficult card, and I will not get very many. Albus Dumbledore.
Paracelsus.
Starts with a P, but the P's silent. Tamoli. Can I get a?
Okay, this is a real life person. It's Ptolemy.
Yeah.
It's a real life person. I won already. Scott's out. I didn't even know who Ptolemy is. Ptolemy is a real life Greek.
They're like, I feel like they're all real life people, but it doesn't matter. I still don't know who they are.
Did that count, or am I?
Yes, it counts. Well, she's the judge.
I think he said the name. Doesn't matter if you didn't know who it was.
All right, fine. What did we, Hengist of Woodcroft?
The Druidess. I'm just gonna stop.
Cleodna.
Yeah.
Does that count for Scott though?
No, it counts for me because I'm being an obnoxious know-it-all.
It's like saying Karkaroff for Igor Karkaroff. You know,
You said Druidess. Then I jumped in and said something before you ever had a chance.
I'm confused with where we.
It counts. Right now. William's turn.
I don't.
Alberic Grunion.
Yep.
Merlin.
Yep.
Did we say Dumbledore already?
Yes,
we did.
That's my opening.
Merlin.
I just said Merlin.
Oh, you didn't?
No. Yes, I did. Now William's out. Okay.
So much tension.
Agrippa.
Dang it! I could have got Agrippa. Thatcher the Great. I don't know anymore.
You guys did not get Morgana, which is really disappointing with how much Descendants watching you're doing right now.
Morgana comes up so often in this household, incredibly. She's in Magic Treehouse books, she's in Descendants, and I have failed.
We miss the Descendants in this house, but we are all about the K-pop Demon Hunters. So.
Oh, we haven't tried that one yet.
Oh my gosh, you guys got to listen to it. The music and the show, it's amazing.
Dude, did either of us say Cersei?
I don't think we said Cersei, which,
nope.
I mean, you like that the Marvel movie with Cersei, so maybe you should have gotten that one.
Okay, William won. No one is surprised. We did.
Yeah, but I was being an obnoxious turd because I just kept interrupting you and saying it because I have an incessant need to just blurt out things and prove my worth.
I am forcing competition into this podcast because I don't know what the point of doing something is unless competition
I would correct that and say you don't know the point of life if competition isn't involved.
Exactly.
I feel the same way. Scott knows.
All right, let's pause to go. Right. Our children are not asleep, so it's been a pleasure, Half-Bloods.
William will go first. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Cassie.
Okay, William, can we land on what we're going to call these drafts? Are we calling them, let's choose our 4 Triwizard champions? Can we commit to a Harry Potter theme here? How are we feeling?
Yeah, I think that's good. The 4 Triwizard champions, unless we magically come up with a better version of that. But I think like the 4 champions.
And as soon as we do, we'll switch it.
The 4 Triwizard champions.
All right, you're first. Again, the rules are 2 have to be from the first book. I suppose it could be in any order. Do we want to say do your
it doesn't matter,
just
whatever
first?
Order, because I'm going to start with the book 1.
Let's do it.
And so this was something that I was thinking about in book 1. And I will I'll read it. So there was a horrible smell in the kitchen the next morning when Harry went in for breakfast. It seemed to be coming from a large metal tub in the sink. He went to have a look. The tub was full of what looked like dirty rags swimming in gray water. "What's this?" he asked Aunt Petunia. Her lips tightened as they always did if he dared ask a question. "Your new school uniform," she said. Harry looked in the bowl again. "Oh," he said. "I didn't realize it had to be so wet." "Don't be stupid."
Harry is full of quips.
Snapped Aunt Petunia. "I'm dyeing some of Dudley's old things gray for you. It'll look just like everyone else's when I finished." This one, I went with this.
Harry seriously doubted that.
Yeah, Harry seriously doubted that. That's the next thing. This is not like the funniest joke or one-liner, but I'm imagining this playing out as like a scene, in the TV show. And I really like the idea of like, wrinkling in the nose and like just looking at disgusting old clothes, like, and Harry looking at it like, "I'm going to wear this." Like, what?
Harry thinking he's going to look like an elephant at school.
Yeah, and then like it also is just really illustrative of like how little they regard him as a human being. You know what I mean? Like they can't be bothered to, spend $100 or something on school uniforms for the year, right? Like he's complete waste of space. They cannot bring themselves to even like clothe him properly. You know what I mean? Like,
It is a perfect microcosm of the 17 years of interactions with him where they didn't turn him away. They allowed him into the house and not one step further.
Yeah, he was just there. And at this point, he's still living in the cupboard under the stairs and like all this stuff. So
True.
That part, I just imagined that, like, I didn't realize it had to be so wet. And I always read that too as him like being like, not just smart aleck, but like kind of like kind, like just he's still like nice. You know what I mean? Like he's just trying not to bother them because then it just makes his life worse. So yeah, I thought that one was pretty good. I think that'll be a good funny thing. Like, looking at a giant, like, thing the size of a blanket and this little kid be like, it'll look just like everyone else's. And you're like,
it's like, I mean, this goes back to our hopes and dreams of the pod, and we hope we get to spend time everywhere. We don't rush off to Diagon Alley. And
right.
I feel like as I thought of my book ones, a lot of them were like pre-Hogwarts Harry life. And as you've also said on the pod, there's a lot of dark humor here, but also just humor. And I believe I will successfully be able to introduce all of my Triwizard champions by way of question. And I'm going to start with this one. This is a level 5. Again, shout out to the game, the much needed book only ultimate unofficial Harry Potter trivia game, levels 1 through 7. Yep. Testing your trivia knowledge. Level 7 is the hardest, but I also think level 4 and 5, we're on 5 right now. Level 5 might be harder than level 7 because level 7 gives you such breadth that like you can guess and get some. You're not like everybody knows Albus Dumbledore was a chocolate frog. Well, everybody,
right?
Like there's some level 5s where like this is as hard as a level 7, but there's only 5 answers. Therefore, it's a level 5. And so, anyways, let's see how you do. This will be the introduction to my first Triwizard. Also coming from Harry's time at the Dursleys. Name 6 things that Dudley did to try to convince his parents to give him his second bedroom back from Harry.
Okay, so 6 things he did. So like when he threw a tantrum.
Yes, I will say bawled at his mother. I don't want him in there. I need that room. Make him get out. I will qualify that as threw his tantrum.
Okay. So we're talking like 6 individual things that he did.
That was one.
Okay.
Which is, again, bawled or cried at his mother. When you read it in the text, it's like, he did this, comma, he did this, comma, he did this, comma. They're very... Because of the commas, there's 6 distinct things.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So let's think here. 6 things he did. Did he hit his mother? No, that was when like they're like I remember in like the McGonagall's talking about like when she's watching them all day and it's like he's hit his mom screaming for sweets all day, that's what I was thinking of. Let's see. So this is chapter 3, the letters from no one.
When I play with other people, because this game is so hard, I throw them bunnies every time they say something close to an answer. I immediately give it to them. I could have done that there.
Okay. Let's see. He's like screaming at him like, I need it. I don't want him there. Blah, blah, blah.
He balls that. Yes.
Let's see. Why is this one? This is a hard one.
Yeah, I told you, level 5 is harder than level 7.
Uh,
The only reason level 5 exists is to send people back down to level 4. Number 4 is he kicked his mother. We'll qualify that as an answer.
He kicked his
We
mother.
got
I was
that.
thinking he hit his. He threw. Oh, okay. I'm starting to think here. Okay, so he had like a pet turtle or tortoise,
Yes.
tortoise, and he chucked it through the roof of like their greenhouse.
He'd thrown his tortoise through the greenhouse roof.
Right. He hit his dad with the smelting stick. That's
He
what he
whacked
did
his
too.
father with his smelting stick.
Yep. He screamed. He yelled.
He screamed is separate. Yes. He bawled at his mother. I don't want him in there. I need the room. Making me get out. Comma. He'd screamed. Comma. Thrown out his tortoise through the greenhouse.
So how many
roof.
do I have so far out of how many there are?
You've got he bawled. He screamed. He whacked his father with the smelting stick. He kicked his mother. And he threw his tortoise through the greenhouse roof. One more. And it's the last one.
He like pukes.
Yes. He'd been sick on purpose.
Been sick on purpose. Yeah, which sick, I think they literally mean that, and like the sick of like sick.
That is exactly what I
Yeah.
pictured. Which
Right.
is to me why I think this is Dudley's moment to not just be the fat boy with a pigtail, but let's give him some room to run here. And just picturing that scene of like him screaming, then he just takes the stick and starts beating his father. Then he turns and starts beating up his mother. Then he just goes outside, throws his turtle up in the air, and then comes back in. And I'm just picturing everyone looking at him, and he just throws up on the floor in front of everyone. And that would be absolutely hilarious to watch.
That would be hilarious. So that took me a long time. That's a really good one. That's why this is like a hard game, y'all. This is the point of it. It's supposed to be hard, and that's level 5. But
The game, as it states on the back, I don't want everything to fall out. It says, by the end, you'll say, I need to reread the books and want to come back for more. And I can promise you that every single person I've played this with who has read the books before has said, dang, I need to go back and read and play some more.
right, yeah, I know. I mean, that's a really good one. That I remember. Dudley's so funny. I think that'd be really good too, because like as you think about like how we want to develop these characters throughout the course of this entire series, like there's a scene in book 6 when like it comes full circle and Dumbledore's
Right.
like the best I can say, he's escaped the appalling damage you put upon this unfortunate boy sitting before me, and they seem confused, right? And they're like,
Yes.
but like obviously like treating your child like this is terrible, like
Exactly.
giving them everything and how spoiled and terrible he is hilarious. And that's a really good one. That's a really good one.
I think it'd be hilarious. Like I said, most of the ones I thought for book 1 happened outside of Hogwarts. So there you go. That's my first.
Okay. I will also just stick with book 1 for my second one, so we'll get that out of the way. Well, I wish I had this. I had to ask you this in a form of a trivia question, but I don't. I guess there could be
Okay.
like,
I'm here to ask questions. You're here to answer questions.
Well, what are the okay? Well, the toilet seat. Fred and George, Cindy, this like arc of the toilet seat joke in the
Yes.
first book. So like poor Ginny, this little girl is like her entire family's gone. She's a single child now, only child back at home, and she's chasing the train. And Fred and George are like, "Hey, we'll send you a toilet seat, Ginny, a Hogwarts toilet seat." And they're like, if that's what like earlier because they do the joke. They're like, if I hear you, Molly's like, if I hear you blown up a toilet, we've never blown up a toilet. Good idea though, Mom. That.
Yes.
So there's the first mention of the toilet seat, right? Great, funny. Poop and toilets always play. Always.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
So that, and then they tell Ginny, hey, we'll send you a toilet seat. And at the end of the thing, Harry's sitting there, and I believe Mr. Fred and George Weasley, Dumbledore's telling him, I believe Fred and George Weasley are the ones that tried to send you a toilet seat.
Yes.
That part
reading-
makes me laugh. Toilets always play. And I like it because it pays off. It's the very beginning to the very end of the book.
It does pay off. Do they surely, like, they don't know that Harry heard that joke. So do you think that maybe couple things could have happened here? Did they collect several toilet seats and they've been sending them to multiple people? Do we think that
I don't know. I
joked
doubt
about that throughout?
Do you think they ever actually sent Ginny a toilet seat? Like,
I hope so.
Mrs. Weasley would just chuck it, throw it away, though, right?
Just like Madame Pomfrey, but still.
Can't wait.
Okay, this one I had to choose because I actually wrote it in my commentary book for the much-needed book-only Ultimate Unofficial Harry Potter Trivia Game, which comes with a companion commentary guide where there are certain questions, like this level 4 question, which references number 56 in here, and you can read my thoughts on this question. William, level 4. Again, level 4, pretty challenging. When trying to escape the letters from no one, name 4 places Uncle Vernon got out of the car, looked around, shook his head, got back in the car, and off they went again.
Okay. They go out and like into the middle of a field somewhere, and like he looks around, he's like shakes his head, he's like, no.
Middle of a plowed field.
Like a bridge, like in the middle of a bridge.
Halfway across a suspension bridge.
Okay, yeah, I did not specify suspension, so you gotta knock me for that.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just reading. I'm just reading.
No, I'm just joking
knocking
myself.
you.
No, I'm just kidding myself. Like for the millions of viewers who are watching, they're like, that idiot didn't say suspension, right? And let's see. The field, the bridge, like a parking garage they go to.
Top of a multi-level parking garage.
Okay, and then also like in the middle of the woods, like he just goes to the middle of the woods somewhere.
Middle of a forest.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's level 4. It's as hard as any level 7, but it's only 4 answers, so it lands in level 4. Yeah, I mean, you've already described it, right? The show potentially could have time to do that, right? If we... I
That's
doubt
easy
they do,
montage. That's an easy montage.
It's a hilarious montage. I want to see deranged Vernon, and this is his best deranged moment that we could give him. And you could travel, and you could have big sweeping shots, and you could do a drone and everything else, and it would be hilarious. And
just like in the middle of a field, like looking around, like
yeah, like it's been done in multiple shows and movies, already, and just copy and paste. It's a slam dunk, to quote sports folks. I wouldn't know, but anyways, that's my second Triwizard pick and second from book 1.
That's a fantastic one. Okay. The next one that I'm gonna do is from Order of the Phoenix, and it's the whole scene. I guess it's like a line, but it just makes me just die laughing when Ron gets to be a prefect, and his mom's like, "Oh, I don't believe it." I'll read it. I have it from me. "I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Oh, Ron, how wonderful, a prefect. That's everyone in the family." And then George goes, "What are Fred and I, next door neighbors?"
That's a great.
And it says, as his mother pushed him aside and flung her arms around her youngest son. This was something I was thinking about this because I was talking to my wife, and in our family we have 4 boys. And the youngest 2 are twins, identical twins. And so I was asking her, like, what do you think is like the funniest things? And she's like, all these things with Molly, and like the way the Weasleys talk to their mom really speaks to her now, because they're just all boys, obviously, except Ginny, and like just the way they treat her. But that's just so funny. Like, what are Fred and I, next door neighbors? Like, just saying that's everyone in the family. That's such a good line.
That is a great pick. And yeah, if we've had that interfamily dynamic through 5 seasons, that'd be glorious. I love that.
Yeah. But like, I just think with the right actor and stuff, like that's just a really funny line. And I think that would be well delivered and bring a great laugh. That's just one of the singular like lines that makes me laugh the most, I think, out of the whole series.
I mean,
I think so.
Fred and George are they are the comedic relief. I mean, they don't have to be, and they are more than comedic relief. And there are others, but you having 2 out of 3 Fred and George is, I think, very appropriate, and
Right.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to make fun of myself. I just don't understand how I don't have a firm 4. You still haven't picked one of mine. I guess I've kind of been hoping you're going to pick one of these, and then I won't do it.
When we were going through, there's a million options, and
which is why I said, can we please narrow this down? I can't take the pressure of these are the 4 funniest moments in Harry Potter. It's not possible.
They're not. If we did this next week, it would be a new list easily.
Right. This would be my lone one that doesn't start with a trivia. But I think it's unbelievable. I'm just skipping to it on my Kindle. And there's a lot of things here, but I'm going to focus on one of them. This moment isn't actually funny, but it sparks some of. I'll get to it. The moment where Fred and George leave the castle is what I was just studying, like, what are the funniest moments? And I just read that whole couple pages. And when they run away, it's not inherently funny. It's incredible and amazing, and like, it's the best trash talk we have, like the non-Dumbledore / non-Harry to Voldemort directly to his face trash talk that we have is just unbelievably good. It's not actually funny. But I feel like I still wanted to pay homage to this moment. And the aftermath of what Fred and George do, I think, is incredible. And there's lots of things that I could pick, and I don't want to steal them all. I feel like that's cheating. But I'm going to include, again, going back to the HBO show, in the movie, we didn't get Peeves. Peeves is not a critical character. He has some hilarious moments. It's not like a major.
I mean, there's no way they don't include him in this new show, though.
I have to agree. This is why you're doing the show, so you
and especially because it's they didn't include him in the
exactly.
movies, so it's an automatic like, hey, things are different. Yes. Peeves is here.
How it's just, again, it's a slam dunk. So lots of things are happening, right? There's so many dung bombs being thrown everywhere that people are just going around in bubblehead charms because it just smells like crap everywhere. To your point, poop and toilets always sell. Just have little poop fights everywhere. That's hilarious. That's not my actual one. Then people are using all the skiving snap boxes. Can you just imagine 25 students just throwing up in front of Umbridge saying, I have to go to the hospital?
What do you have? I have Umbrigitis. I can't deal with it.
It would be an amazing montage, just 4 in a row. Okay, right. I'm cheating. And if you picked any of those, I apologize.
No, I didn't. You're good.
So again, there's just like, this could be an entire episode, but even just a 5-minute montage, just absolutely incredible. Then, and the lines that J.K. Rowling uses are just so funny. But it says, but not even the users of the snack boxes could compete with the master of chaos, Peeves, who seemed to have taken Fred's parting words deeply to heart. And a reminder that he saluted Fred and George as they left, said, give her hell, Peeves. And there's one that just really made me just...
from us.
Give her hell from us, yeah. There's one of these that just really made me laugh out loud, like truly hard, and just imagining that. But bear with me. I'm going to read the paragraph. Cackling madly, he soared through the school, upending tables, bursting out of blackboards, and toppling statues and vases. Twice he shut Mrs. Norris inside suits of armor from which she was rescued, yowling
Messing
loudly.
With cats always plays too, by the way.
True. He smashed lanterns and snuffed out candles, juggled burning torches over the heads of screaming students, caused neatly stacked piles of parchment to topple into fires or out of windows, flooded the second floor when he pulled all the taps in the bathrooms, dropped a bag of tarantulas. This is the one that I just couldn't stop laughing. He dropped a bag of tarantulas in the middle of the Great Hall during breakfast. How can that not be a scene in the show? Just Peeves walks in, drops 100 tarantulas on students just trying to have breakfast. And how is that not just pure comedy?
I don't know. I live in Texas, and in West Texas, they have giant tarantulas. Now, I don't live in West Texas. When we go out there to visit in-laws, my in-laws, massive. They're
You sent me pictures.
They're horrifying. I have seen tarantulas, absolutely horrifying. If
a spider has a shadow, it should be killed. That is just rule number one. If it can cast a shadow while walking on the ground, it should be dead immediately.
So like I've seen literally like dozens of them walking across the road like in Texas, and imagining Peeves like dropping like a scene where there's just a pack of tarantulas. That would
incredible.
be fantastic.
Also, in the first book, Fred and George are saying that Lee Jordan has a giant tarantula. Do you think that there are magical tarantulas that are, maybe a foot?
I mean, yeah, I think it was just a tarantula, right? Or it could have been like an engorgement charm. It definitely wasn't like an acromantula, right? That
or
would
Harry
be
McBoon,
too dangerous.
Which I thought maybe.
Harry McBoon. Yeah.
And then it just finishes, and when he fancied a break, he's just spent hours at a time floating along after Umbridge and blowing loud raspberries every time she tried to speak. I mean, are you kidding me? You have to introduce
just
Peeves.
Making fart noises.
Yes. You have to have Peeves for the first 4 seasons just for this season. Well,
just
there's so many other scenes, though. There are so many. Like, a trivia question that will exist in the Ultimate Harry Potter Trivia Part 2 will be name like 18 shenanigans that Peeves gets up to. I tried to start the question. He does so much stuff. It's hard to frame the question
that list you just made right there was insane. Like that is such a long list. But, like think of how comically long that list is of like just stuff. He was just lighting stuff on fire. He would just take piles of paper and chuck it in fire. And the teachers stopped caring. They're like, it unscrews the other way, Peeves.
Yes. We both recently watched Superman, which we both enjoyed.
Yeah.
And there's a great scene where Superman is just having a heart-to-heart with Lois, and in the background, there's just an epic battle going on, which is both hilarious and cool at the same time.
Right.
And it's just a great scene, just kind of normalizing. I feel like it was great
world.
for the movie. Yeah, it was normalizing. Yeah,
you get world. Like the kind of Harry Potter vibe where like insane is normal in this world.
Yes.
Right.
And I feel like it was also like a meta commentary on 2025. Like, we can't really show you anything you haven't seen yet. There's been 50 superhero movies in 20 years, and it's just normal to have giant aliens fighting in the background. Anyways, there's a scene you'll remember. I haven't read it in prep, but I was just thinking about it as I was thinking about Peeves, and you can give the background when I start to tell it and you remember. But Harry's like having a conversation with like Ron and Hermione, and in the background, J.K. Rowling is describing how Peeves is having a fight with Alicia Spinette and just like throwing ink bottles at her, and she's getting super pissed and trying to get him back, and then he just like drops the whole ink bottle on her. But it's all happening in the background while Harry is like doing something real, and like that's the kind of stuff we need, of just like hilarious shenanigans happening that we don't need to focus on Peeves. We don't need a 10-minute this is Peeves part of the episode. It's just like have Peeves doing just stupid stuff all the time.
Yeah, that would be really good. I think that's a good like through line of what you're talking about. Like stuff like in the background of just him being crazy, or like the scene where Lupin, like shoots the gum down his throat or something. Yes. Wadi-wasi, and like messes with him and stuff like that.
Give us it.
That would be fantastic. That would be a really fun scene to watch Peeves just completely torment Umbridge. I was thinking too, like how incredible just the idea of a portable swamp is.
Yes.
Like what?
How did anyone think of that?
I'm smuggling this in, but like, because this is not my last one, but like Fred and George make a portable swamp.
Funny.
The teachers know how to get rid of it. They won't do it. Right? And they have Filch punting kids across, like, and that's another thing you learn when you're reading books and your kid like punting. What the heck? And you're like, oh, it just means ferrying them across. These British words, right?
Which I didn't learn though till my late 20s, early 30s. So just to be clear, I pictured Filch picking them up and kicking them over, and I just thought it was hyperbole, like a lot of Harry Potter is.
Right. Yeah. But just the idea of like a portable swamp, and they leave the section of it. Flitwick leaves a section of it as a monument to Fred and George, which is just the best, most amazing thing.
An impressive bit of magic.
great they are. And I like Flitwick must have been like so proud. Like I know these two just screwed around, but like they were listening. And
I like to think
like,
Charms was one of the OWLs they got.
yeah, for sure. They truly didn't care. Like they
said, we exceeded expectations just by showing up.
Showing up. Exceed expectations just by showing up. All right. I will go with my last one here. There's so many, and we'll have fun throwing out honorable mentions and stuff. But I'm going to read from a part in Order of the Phoenix when they finish their exam, and a divination exam specifically. It says, "Well, we were always going to fail that one," said Ron gloomily as they ascended the marble staircase. He had just made Harry feel rather better by telling him how he had told the examiner in detail about the ugly man with a wart on his nose and his crystal ball, only to look up and realize he'd been describing the examiner's reflection. "We shouldn't have taken that stupid subject in the first place," said Harry. "Still, at least we can give it up now." "Yeah," said Harry. "No more pretending we care what happens when Jupiter and Uranus get too friendly. And from now on, I don't care if my tea leaves spell die, Ron, die. I'm just chucking them in the bin where they belong." I think that will be a really good scene where like he's looking at a crystal ball and like, oh, there's a man, a very quite ugly man. His nose is huge and it's seems to have a wart on it. And he looks up, that would be a great scene. But just like their banter of like, again, another Uranus joke also always plays.
Yes.
I thought about that one. Can I have a look at Uranus, Lavender? That's an important joke, by the way, because it's like showing that like these are teenage boys now. They're not.
Cassie has to cut that out. Dang it. It's probably too blurry. You can't even see what I'm doing. You're actually a little less blurry than normal.
You're very blurry. You're just talking pixels for whatever reason. But yeah, just teenage boys are immature and stupid and funny. And for others, J.K. Rowling, has a great grasp of, I think, teenage boys, like, and just how they act and talk and stuff. Like, and I know that like this book and stuff keeps things PG, right? And for the most part,
but
like
HBO,
but in your dreams ain't happening. But also it would be like really weird if the show got very graphic.
Well, too graphic, yes, but I don't know if they lead us into it. Like, if they just start off with like, yeah, I mean, they start off as 11.
It'd be very violent for sure.
Well, it could definitely be violent. Yeah, we don't need sparks that just do nothing. We could have some real marks on the skin from some of these spells.
Right, but anyway, that I wanted more with Harry and Ron, and that was a good one I thought to have. But there's a million other things I've been thinking of, and we could go on forever about just things that make me laugh. But that one's a great one. Harry and Ron is a funny character, and that's a really good scene that will play very well in the visual medium. I
agree. And to your point, you're trying to hit one of your tethers, which is Harry and Ron being hilarious together, which they are. And yeah, in the movies, you kind of get one-liners and bloody hells, and you don't get quite.
Again, never uttered in the book.
What about Merlin's saggy left?
Yep, he says that to his mother, by the way, which is like
he's come of age. He's fine.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna go to book 2. Well, yeah, I think I'm going to go to book 2. And I have a level 7 for you as my introductory question.
Great. Level 7.
You can't take 10 minutes on it. Well, you can, and Cassie will edit it out. So, all
right, I'll speed round it. I will admit defeat if I don't get them all.
This is a big one. And it's also a hard one to kind of clasp to get your arms around from a question maker perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Name 17 subjects, creatures, tasks, and stories that Harry studies in the classroom during Defense Against the Dark Arts class. Anything that we see mentioned while he's sitting in the classroom of Defense Against the Dark Arts. 17.
Grindy loves werewolves.
Yes. The Lupin ones are the easiest ones, surely.
Curses, like but the unforgivable curses. Does that count as 3?
No, that is 1. Well, Unforgivable Curses overview is 1.
And then, like, I guess the Imperious Curse is like its own thing.
Throwing off the Imperious Curse is another one. Yes.
Right. Hinky punks, werewolves they talk about, vampires they mentioned, Kappas, Inferi are mentioned. Does Ridiculous count, or like Bogart? Like, are those 2 separate things that you have?
Bogart is because it's I guess spells. I don't know. It's 1. It's just Bogart, but I should put like Learning Expelliarmus and maybe add spells onto here. But
Dueling. Does Lockhart count as teaching dueling?
Not within the classroom, not within the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom, but I will give you jinx your partner without speaking and repel.
I was going to say like
nonverbal
stuff. That was the next one I was going to say.
Yes,
he did mention once how there's like the best way to deal with a Bogart or a Dementor. Him and Snape disagreed on the best way to deal with Dementors.
Yes, but
so I believe that was Patronus Charm. But
I believe that was only homework, though. We do not get a discussion in class about that. It was he got feedback on his homework saying, like, he got bad grade on his homework. That's part of the name X number of Defense Against the Dark Arts homework assignments that he had.
Can I count Defensive Magical Theory?
Yes. Yes. And I'll just give it to you. Read chapter 1, read chapter 2. Then we don't know what he does after that, but those are 2 separate ones.
Right. I think he does the stunning spell like all on his own. That's not really a defense against the dark arts, I don't think.
A Triwizard Tournament practice.
I don't know. We'll leave it there. I mean, what were the other? What are the ones I'm missing so far? Like
you've done incredible. What I have missing are some Lockhart ones.
Pixie, Pestronomy.
Cornish Pixies.
Yeah.
And then they list just like quickly like all the stories that Harry had to act out, which is a Transylvanian. This is my actual. This is what what I think is hilarious or a funny scene. So I'll skip.
We had to have Lockhart in here. Lockhart is
exactly
fantastic.
So I'll skip back to Lockhart's ones. The only other one I think is Moody gives them a test of hex deflection, after which many of them were nursing small injuries. That's the only non-Lockhart one that I see missing.
Yeah.
So then the Lockhart ones, and so my funniest, what I think would just be amazing on screen, and it's just almost impossible to imagine like Daniel Radcliffe doing this. That's not true. Daniel Radcliffe is funny. Like I've seen him in other stuff, and he's hilarious. What I think he actually is funny is when he's like pretending like that when he's being Daniel Radcliffe and talking about Harry Potter, he's actually hilarious. But I don't think he's ever funny in the movie. So it's hard for me to imagine him doing this. But these are things that Lockhart forces him to act out, because after the Cornish Pixies, Lockhart doesn't do any more hands-on training, and he mostly spends his time acting out his books, and he makes Harry always play the star. And these are things that Harry had to act out. 1, a Transylvanian villager whom Lockhart had cured of a babbling curse. 2, Lockhart's interaction with a vampire, which I gave you credit for, who had been unable to eat anything except lettuce since Lockhart had dealt with him. Next one is Lockhart's interaction with a Yeti with a head cold. And then the one that we actually get to see a little bit of is Lockhart's interaction with the Wagga Wagga werewolf. And I will read what Harry is forced to do for Lockhart as the Wagga Wagga werewolf, which again I think is just hilarious and would translate very easily to on screen if we allow this kid to be silly.
Great alliteration.
So it says, Harry was hauled to the front of the class during their very next Defense Against the Dark Arts lesson, this time acting as a werewolf. So we're just imagining, I don't know, Harry on all fours. If he hadn't had a very good reason for keeping Lockhart in a good mood, he would have refused to do it. Nice loud howl, Harry. Exactly. And then, if you'll believe it, I pounced like this, and I slammed him to the floor with one hand. And so, again, just like a montage of that, or just that scene of Harry just on all fours, Lockhart being like loud, Give us a howl, Harry. Bit louder now, and then just tackling him off the ground.
A bit louder now.
It would be amazing.
That would be amazing. Anything with Lockhart acting out insanely stupid things, and just like, obviously he takes a dark turn towards the end of his arc there, but it is downright hilarious how self-absorbed and like, fame's a fickle friend, Harry. Celebrity is as celebrity does.
Remember that. I was just reading that to the children tonight. We just heard the first Basilisk.
Or he's acting like, oh yeah.
It's very exciting.
Or he's acting like, I saved you back there with young Creevy, but you have to understand, it looks a bit pig-headed at this point in your career. He calls it a career, right?
Yes.
Lockhart was ahead of the game. He was like an influencer.
True.
He would thrive on Instagram and TikTok.
That is such a good point.
Whatever else. He would absolutely thrive.
His podcast or his YouTube podcast, because surely he would not take anyone away from being able to see his charming smile, would be top notch.
Right. That's a good one. All right. And so those are our 4 each. And again, this one it's hard to call these champions because there's so many funny things. For honorable mention, I want to throw one out there. It's kind of like a joke we have with my kids, but when they go to the forest and they meet the centaurs, Hagrid is talking to them, and 3 times they just say, "Mars is bright tonight." Mars is bright tonight. Right. 3 times. And it's so repetitive that it becomes funny. And then Hagrid's like, ruddy stargazers, not interested in anything closer than the moon. And that part just really makes me laugh. Just how funny Hagrid is. And I think that would be a really good one. Because like Hagrid's asking questions and they just keep responding. Mars is bright tonight. Yeah.
There's not a lot of Harry Potter jokes that you can say like in context, but I vividly remember the first time we were at the beach and I was outside and I was with someone who would get the joke, my sister, and I just looked up and said, "Mars is bright tonight." And it was a very exciting time for someone to get that reference. And
heck yeah, that pays off. That's a great time. I'm going to be at the beach this weekend. I'm definitely going to try and say it.
A real beach or like a crappy Texas beach?
This is a good Texas beach.
I'm just kidding. I've never been to a beach in Texas.
We don't go to Galveston. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's all
South Padre.
I'm just referencing Charles Barkley, nothing else.
Yeah, that's true. But no, they're going to a nice beach where we can drive down the beach and be the only people we see for 100 yards in either direction alone. Let's see. And then other honorable mention I had, just funny lines. Harry's sitting in the hedges listening to the news and like watching the news again. What do you mean? Like, well, it changes every day, you see. Like, just the more he gets more and more sassy with the Dursleys, because he just like, I don't care about you idiots anymore. He's like, I'm not remotely scary. You can't do anything to hurt me.
Voldemort is hunting me.
Yeah. It's like, well, it changes every day, you see, right? And I already said one like the swamp, or like, can I have a look at Uranus?
Yes.
All these silly things, like there's a lot there. I think I should have included this one, but I really hope, because it happened off page in the books.
Yeah.
But Ron asking Fleur Delacour to the dance would be really funny. That would be the kind of thing where, like, if we can visualize that, like that, and her looking at him, like, like a disease, that's got
HBO written all over it. If they can't execute that, then I don't know what they're doing.
Like, that would be really funny. Ron tripping over himself to get
Kissed
Fleur's attention, get kissed on the cheek, even, or
I was reading the shouting at the Vilas, or the Quidditch World Cup with the Vilas.
Oh my gosh,
the shouting at the Vilas,
the ref,
after,
like flexing his muscles and stuff,
rolling his mustache.
We can't have that. Somebody slap the referee. We can't have that.
I've invented a broomstick that'll reach Mars.
Did I mention?
There's a lot of good stuff.
Jupiter, not Mars.
That's why you're here. I've got 3 honorable mentions. You keep going.
I mean, it goes on forever, and I think I think the Weasleys are great. I think there's just really funny stuff. Like, it's important to Ginny's character development, but like when she just lies to her mom, like, why is there these dung bombs down by there? Crookshanks is playing with them. He loves them. Ginny's just like easily lies to her mom, like at an instant, and you're like, oh, she's cool. Like she's not a loser. Like she's real cool. That one made me laugh. There's Unlimited thing. This is Night Ditty. This is what we call it when it goes all dark. You know?
Harry is there's so much with the Dursleys again.
Or just like anytime he talks back to teachers, right?
Yes.
Like
you don't have to.
No
I
need
did
to call
look
me
up.
sir.
Yeah, I did look up. You don't have to call me sir.
You don't have to call me sir. That's a really good one.
I've got 3. I'm going to introduce them all in trivia questions, but these are easier, so don't embarrass me and take forever. First one's the easiest one. Name 3 people who provide commentary for Quidditch matches at Hogwarts.
Lee, Luna, and Bagman. Oh wait, well at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Zachariah Smith.
True, but I could expand that. I thought for sure you were going to do Luna Lovegood. I know you love the Loser's Lurgy, and I reread that.
That is, yeah. That is, I guess I stuck with some stuff. I was like, hey, this could like visualize, but like Loser's Lurgy or Lurgy, whatever, right? Like that is such a funny line. Loser's Lurgy.
Every line, I mean, it's only like a page because Harry gets knocked out fairly quickly. But like every line is just so funny where she's like trying to remember the guy's name and it's not even close.
Bibbin or Bobbin. It's Cadwallader.
Like, and she thought that the score was unimportant, but she wanted to talk about cloud shapes. And
my gosh.
So funny.
And then ultimate Quidditch booster Minerva is like, take this seriously. It's Cadwallader.
But Harry does ask the right question. Who in their right mind let Luna do the commentary? Like, I want to see the backstory of that. There's got to be, I think we need a whole episode on how
Is she the only one that volunteered?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, it was cursed. Like, they were scared Ginny Weasley was going to run them over.
Actually, also good. Really funny ones. Anything with Oliver Wood. We think he's trying to drown himself.
That's true. We need a Oliver Wood, like.
Or they tell him like die. He tells him like die trying. You know.
This is your fault, Wood. That's very true. Very true.
But other thing, I think she understands the obsessive nature of boys and how much they love sports, and she does a really good job of that.
She uses it often,
and girls too, because obviously Ginny, but like just anyone who's obsessed with sports. And I think she understood that. Well,
she certainly used it as a ploy to distract us from, oh no, Voldemort's trying to kill me. Well, we have Quidditch practice. What's more important? All right. This goes back to, again, there's just a lot of pre-Hogwarts stuff that I think would be really funny. This was my honorable mention for book 1. Name 5 occurrences where Harry unwittingly uses magic in his youth. And this is before he knows he's a wizard. So blowing up Aunt Marge does not qualify.
Harry unknowingly uses magic in his youth. He ends up at the top of the school, turns his teacher's hair color, grows his hair back. Oh, how many am I supposed to say? I'm sorry. What?
5.
5. Oh, okay. Did I say he ends up at the top of the school?
Yes.
Ends up on the roof. What else? Vanishing Glass.
Obviously.
That's one. Let's see. That's also a very funny scene. That'll be
That's what I'm saying.
Really good.
Well, yeah, that'll obviously be in the movie, but I mean the show.
Mm-hmm. I'm blanking on the. You have to give me more time. The sweater, the sweater that just keeps like shrinking. The sweater that just keeps shrinking. Yeah.
I feel like any single one of those, again, we'll obviously have the vanishing glass, that's a guarantee, but like any single one of those would be just incredible. Growing his hair overnight. that's not funny, but the shaving of his head would be funny. Again, dark humor, the shrinking of the sweater, hilarious. Like a little, like show him at school with Dudley. Like show some of that. That would be awesome. And then show him running away and jumping and just, I'm on the roof and I don't know how I got there. And the police coming and a fire department. Like it'd be hilarious. Like there's so much room to work.
That would be funny. There's a lot there.
This is my last honorable mention. This is a level 4, so a little bit harder. Describe 5 groups that Harry asks to fly around the pitch at the start of Quidditch tryouts in his 6th year. There's 5 distinct groups that kick off Quidditch tryouts.
So one is like a bunch of Hufflepuffs.
That is the last. The 5th group were Hufflepuffs, which is a hilarious ending to this paragraph.
He has 5 groups of people, a bunch of girls that just like fall over laughing the minute he says something.
The second group was comprised of 10 of the silliest girls Harry had ever encountered, including Romilda Vane. Correct.
First years, like a bunch of first years is one of them.
The first 10 was made up of first years, and it could have not have been plainer that they had hardly ever flown before. Correct.
Yeah. There was like a wreck, like they like crashed into each other on
the third
one.
Group had a pile up halfway around the pitch.
Oh, and then there's ones that just didn't even bring broomsticks, right? There's people that just didn't even.
Most of the 4th group had come without broomsticks.
The 5th group, and the 5th group were Hufflepuffs. That's the which says we already said that one because that one's like the funniest one. And then he's like, if anyone else here is not from Gryffindor, please leave. And then I think it's Ravenclaws who leave after that.
Yes, I feel like that's such a. I mean, I guess the movie tried to set up Harry being popular by like, I don't know, having that chick in the waitress like try to hit on him. I don't know. I just feel like this would be
again makes no sense because Harry doesn't have game like that.
No, he doesn't. But this would make perfect sense, and it would be hilarious. And if you're
the most famous kid at your school for defeating the greatest dark wizard ever, that gives you game.
Exactly.
You can spit game, but like random Muggle girls that work at coffee shops have no interest in you. And 5'6".
Exactly. Show it to us. Show 50 kids showing up who just want to look at the chosen one.
Right. And that's a good one.
It's hilarious. That's my honorable mention. I wrote down a bunch more, but those are the ones that I had questioned. Those are the ones that I was tempted to do, and I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, fair enough. It is a deeply funny book.
Now we're ready for Unnatural Little Beasts segment of our podcast.
I was going to say, I was literally thinking that because that's also one of the funniest things in the book. Creature buttering unnatural little beasts. And I have identical twins, and I love them, and they are my unnatural little beasts. And I call them that all the time.
I've started a list. I'll have an Excel file which I can post occasionally. It's got some Gryffindor coloring on it. It's kind of pretty. Anyways, so far I believe that you are 4 for 4. You have
on Fred or George.
On Fred or George, yeah. Unnatural Little Beast is the name of our segment, which is a game called Fred or George. I ask a question, and William answers, was this Fred or was this George? Again, I don't think this is a very successful podcast segment, but I bet we're the only people in the world who are doing this, who have ever done this.
Yeah.
This.
And I want you to give me, I want to do like a 30-second timer this time or something. I gotta stop the hemming and hawing over this. Because like I feel like so self-conscious because like I am very good at trivia, Harry Potter trivia, but also, I mean, I sit here and think too when I got put on the spot, So
I mean, in the first episode, I kind of explained to everyone. I mean, for everyone who's made it from first episode to this episode, I watch your brain work. I watch you replay it in your mind and get it. That's you describe the scene because you're flipping the page in your mind, and that's why you talk through the scene, and then you get to the part that I'm asking and it's there because your brain is a book. And I'm going to try to pick real Fred and George moments. Again, I could get a little too obscure, I think, and again, you have a 50-50 shot. So who makes the joke in Harry's first year Christmas? Who makes the joke about the sweaters? But we're not stupid. We know. I don't know if it's a hint to say the whole quote. When I read it, it didn't give it away to me. So we're not stupid. We know we're called Gred and Forge. That's who says that.
We're called Gred and Forge. Let's see. You count my timer.
I'm counting.
The full context of this is like, you don't have a letter on yours, but I suppose you think you don't forget your name.
Exactly.
It's George. George says it because he's saying it. It's George. I'm like 99% sure it's George.
That is correct.
Gred.
And I thought, is it a hint
Yeah.
to say Gred? Like, does that give it away? But to me, it didn't give it away at all. Like, Fred could say that or George could say that. I have no freaking
Yeah,
clue.
he could be like Gred and Forge, Gred, Forge.
Or Gred Forge. Or Gred Forge. To me, they're the exact same. I have no idea which one. Anyways, you are, of course, correct, making you 5 for 5. And congratulations.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
The last segment I have today is, again, this won't totally make sense, but I don't care. I'm still documenting it all. Is where in the world is Ultimate Harry Potter Trivia?
Can I guess? Pacific Ocean?
Yes, I believe that will technically be correct. It docked in South Korea last night.
Hey.
And it is on its way to Savannah, Georgia, where it should arrive on August 30th. So pretty exciting.
It goes from Savannah. It goes from South Korea to Savannah.
Yeah, through the Panama Canal. Are there other big canals? I don't know, but I looked at this
I just assumed you go to Los Angeles or something.
Well, I assume that as well. The first place it was going was to New York, landing September 6th, and then it updated, and now it's going to Savannah, August 30th. And I looked at a freight tracker, and it showed every boat that it tracks, and it's thousands of boats.
I would say, is this kind of like, those airplane apps where you can see
Yes.
every plane in the sky? Is there a
Yes.
boat? I got to tell my dad
exactly
about
what it
this.
is.
My dad's the airplane app guy. I got to find this boat
That's
app.
funny. We now, every time a plane flies by, Cassie has to get out her phone because the kids are asking, and she scans, she opens the app, points her phone at the airplane, and then tells the girls where it's going.
This is what my kids ask when they're with Granddaddy. They're like, Granddaddy, where's that plane going? And he's like,
It actually is pretty fun.
Although what it doesn't say is, because I live in San Antonio, there's an Air Force base here. I have fighter jets fly over all the time. I don't think those are tracked quite the same.
No.
But it is cool when you see a F-16 or something flying over.
It is. Anyways, there are thousands and thousands of boats, yes, surrounding the coast of Asia. Thousands of boats surrounding the coast of both North and South America, and then several going through, I think, the Panama Canal, several going through or around, they're going all the way around South America or through the Strait of Magellan. I'm making stuff up, but there's boats everywhere making their way around.
What a wild way to make a living. Read the traffic on the boats.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, so that's where Harry Potter Trivia is. Again, when you're listening to this, it'll be available for purchase. So buy the game. It's awesome. And keep listening to this podcast. We're going to be back next week with more Harry Potter content.
Oh, this is the greatest joy of my life at the moment. My life's pretty awesome, I'm not going to lie, but this is really fun.
Yeah, I love my family. I like my job. I like my community, but this is why I get up in the morning.
Yes. And if that's it for the day, it's been fun, and I love all of you. And that was a ton of fun. I did want to say one thing too.
Right.
There was it doesn't line up with the timeline, so I don't know if we have to cut this out or something, but they announced the new audiobook today.
I wanted to bring this up to you. Keep going.
Yeah. A full cast of audiobook. And I'll pull it up here while we're talking. But the girl who plays Hermione is actually the voice. Arabella
Fig?
Oh gosh. No. Not Arabella Fig, but we have Hugh Laurie as Dumbledore, Dr. House himself, Dumbledore. Okay.
He's a great voice. He
is a great voice. And then there's a couple very notable. Arabella Stanton as Hermione, and that's the actual girl who is going to be Hermione. So that's really cool. One thing I really love about me, you know how much I love the audiobooks, and I know people like Stephen. What's his name? His last name is escaping me right now. He's very good. The one that does the British one.
Yeah.
He's great. Jim Dale's better by a mile. He just is. And I always think, like, it's amazing. I'm really glad they're doing this project. It's super cool that they have like a cast, but like, it's funny how they need to hire a million actors to do the job of one Jim Dale. That's how good Jim Dale is. Go listen to it if you haven't. But one thing I wanted to point out from this, Riz Ahmed is Snape. And I was like, dang, that's perfect.
Who is he? Tell me.
Riz
who he
Ahmed,
is.
he was in, he's Bodhi from Rogue One. He's kind of like mysterious, and like I could see him being like mean. I don't know. I was just like, that's right on. That's really good. Hugh Laurie as Dumbledore. Matthew McFadden as Voldemort. Matthew McFadden, for those who don't know, he was in Deadpool and Wolverine and Succession. That's what he's known for. And I would get sued by every woman who I have ever known. I think I don't know which one he is. He's not Mr. Darcy. He's another guy in Pride and Prejudice. I think the TV show. Maybe the movie. Nope, the movie. I think he's in the movie with Keira Knightley. But maybe he's Mr. Darcy, but in the movie. Dang it.
Isn't Mr. Darcy the guy from... Now I'm embarrassing myself. Isn't he the guy from like Love Actually?
Well, that's the TV show, the BBC TV show.
Oh, okay.
And then there's the movie that has like Keira Knightley that's 20 years old.
Right.
That one has Matthew McFadden. He's Mr. Darcy. Colin Firth is Mr. Darcy in the TV show. And that ends our Pride and Prejudice talk. But yeah, they've like fully casted it. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great.
This is a good update. We're actually having live news, which again, we're not posting this live. So you're right. This doesn't totally work, but I did see that. And I did think it was funny in the comments. It was just like a bunch of Jim Dale stands and then a bunch of Steven stands and then a bunch of, this is going to be amazing. And comments are nothing.
Yeah, what's not to like? More
divisive.
versions of it. Like for me, like obviously I can't erase my mind of like when I read the books, Jim Dale's voice is in my head when I read books. Yeah. It's burned into my skull. But I'm very excited for this. What's not to like? A woman named Cush Jumbo, which is a fantastic name, is the narrator. Good for her. What a great name. I'm in on that alone. And they have different actors doing Harry for like 1 through 3 and then 4 through 7. So
smart.
Yeah.
This is in pre-order right now, to your point. This is in process right now, is the way.
Stephen Fry does the
Yeah.
other one.
Is Hermione going to have time to do this and the show? Like,
I think this was super easy because she only did books 1 through 3. And if you actually break it down to how much she has to do for literally just Hermione's voice, it's not that much for books 1 through 3. And I think about this because like Jim Dale did all of it, right? And so did Stephen Fry. Like, so they read every word. They're the narrator. They're every character. Like, that's a lot of work on 7 books. When you have a cast, it's really not that hard. Even whoever's playing, I mean, the most lines that someone's going to have in the show is probably, I mean, the narrator, obviously, but she's not like a super famous actress who's busy with other stuff. But like, for example, Hugh Laurie, Dumbledore, right?
He's got like 10 lines in book 1. More than that.
Yeah, I mean, if you cross obviously he's got a lot to do, but like across the entire series, he's just got to actually say the voice. He doesn't have to do any acting. Like,
True.
Sounds great.
I listened to the commercial for it, and none of the sound bites like got me excited, but you have now got me excited. So I'm back in.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought of it like cool to one, hear that girl as Hermione.
True.
Which is great. Arabella Stanton. And then 2, it just with my kids, just I don't know, just hear it.
True.
With different voices and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's kind of funny that I already own them all on Audible, and then like I will have to now do my Audible subscription and get enough credits so I can now buy these.
I mean, this is why they did this. They didn't do this to introduce Harry Potter to a bunch of new fans. They did it to suck more money out of the already millions of
and it's working. It's working.
Yep.
I cannot tell you. We went to Harry Potter World, spent ton of money on crud there. I went to the Forbidden Forest experience last year with my kids. We went with like a bunch of other families. I definitely spent by far the most money of anyone who went. Yeah, I have a problem.
Yeah, well,
actually, I don't have a problem. I'm very happy.
True. Well, now you have a Harry Potter podcast, so make it tax deductible, and we can go from there.
There you go. There you go.
No, this is good. We're getting some live news. After we hang up recording and say goodbye to the Half Bloods, we could talk about schedule and how we actually start doing this the right way.
Heck yeah.
So, what else you got?
That's it. That was fun. The book is hilarious. We went through, found some of our favorite parts, and we would love to hear what anyone else thinks. Because
True.
I don't think this isn't the kind of thing where you can actually make a list of like, hey, there's the 4 funniest things. Totally subjective. No. So much fun stuff. And I said one nice thing about the movie, a specific line in a movie. And now everyone knows I'm not a bitter old hater.
That could be
my heart is
a recurring
open.
segment. Say something nice about a movie. That could be a recurring segment if we want to go there. I don't think we could do that 50 times, but we could try.
No, eventually I'd just be like, well, it ended.
Well, the intro had the Harry Potter music, and so that's 8. You have 8 of those, so that's good. Save those in your back pocket.
I know. I could do a part 2 of like things that the movies got wrong.
Back. This will be annual. This is going to be an annual thing that we'll do. So just next August, we'll hit it. It'll be great.
Heck yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're right. Please let us know what your favorite moments are on social media, or email us at ultimateharrypottertrivia@gmail.com. And I'm still going to try to make this a competition. And my goal is still, when we post this podcast, to post our Triwizard champions against each other.
And we have at least like 4 friends that will vote on this. So like there will be a winner.
2-2. I mean, we could have a lot of ties, so we'll see.
I have my wife. I can make my sister do it.
I would like to say we get to vote. So I'm going to go log in.
We get to vote? Yeah.
My podcast, my user, and vote. So
if there's a way to cheat to win, you will do it.
I am here to win. Next podcast.
I'd be embarrassed if you didn't.
Next podcast, hopefully I'll be talking about how I won $100 on my Michael Jordan versus LeBron James GOAT argument. So we'll see.
Oh, heck yeah. And invest that right into the business.
Nope, I'm buying Jordans, and no one can stop me.
Jordans cost more than $100.
I got a couple other bucks hidden away. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Love you, Half Bloods. We'll see you next week.
All right. Love y'all. Peace.